Shriprada. Om Adityaya cha Somaya Mangalaya Budhaya cha Guru Shukra Shanibhyascha Rahave Ketave Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvighram Kuru Me Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswarah Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Hiranyagarbhaya. Shriprada, are you there? Yes, she is. Okay, Amma.
Yeah, let's start. Oh. Om Asya Aadithya Hrudaya Stotrasya Agastya Rashihi Anushtup Chandaha Aadithya Hrudaya Bhuto Bhagavan Brahma Devata Nirasta Shesha Vignataya Brahma Vidya Siddhau Sarvatra Jaya Siddhau Cha Viniyogaha Om Tato Yuddha Parishrantam Samare Chintaya Sthitam Ravanam Chagrato Drishtva Yuddhaya Samupasthitam Daivataischa Samagamya Drashtumabhyagatoranam Upagamya Pravidramam Agastyo Bhagavan Rishihi Rama Rama Mahabaho Shruno Guhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvanarin Vatsa Samare Vijayishyasi Aadithya Hrudayam Punyam Sarvashatru Vinashanam Jayavahan Japin Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam Sarvamangalamangalyam Sarvapapa Pranashanam Chintashoka Prashamanam Ayurvardhanamuttamam Rashmimantam Samudyantam Devasura Namaskritam Pujayasva Vivasvantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram Sarvadevatmako Hyeshah Tejasvi Rashmi Bhavanah Yesha Devasuragarnan Lokan Pati Gabhastibhi Esha Brahma cha Vishnuscha Shivaskandah Prajapatihi Mahendro Dhanadah Kalo Yamassomo Hyapampatihi Pitaro Vasavasadhyah Hyashvino Maruto Manuho Vayurvanhih Prajapranah Rutukarta Prabhakarah Aditya Savita Suryah Khagah Pusha Gabhastiman Suvarna Sadrisho Bhanuh Hiranyareto Divakarah Haridashva Sahasrarchihi Sapta Saptir Marichiman Timiron Mathanashambhu Tvashta Martandam Shuman Hiranyagarbhashishiraha Tapano Bhaskaro Ravihi Agni Garbhodite Putra Shankhashishiranashanaha व्योमनाथस्तमो भेदी ऋग्यजुस्सामपारगः घनवृष्टिरपां मित्रो विन्ध्यवीथिप्लवङ्गमः आतपी मण्डली मृत्युः पिङ्गलः सर्वतापनः कविर्विश्वो महातेजाः रक्तः सर्वभवोद्भवः नक्षत्रग्रहताराणाम् अधिपो विश्वभावनः तेजसामपि तेजस्वी द्वादशात्मन्नमोऽस्तु ते नमः पूर्वाय गिरये पश्चिमायाद्रये नमः ज्योतिर्गणानां पतये दिनाधिपतये नमः जयाय जयभद्राय हर्यश्वाय नमो नमः नमो नमः सहस्रांशो आदित्याय नमो नमः नमो उग्राय वीराय सारंगाय नमो नमः नमः पद्मप्रबोधाय मार्ताण्डाय नमो नमः ब्रह्मेशानाच्युतेशाय सूर्यायादित्यवर्चसे भास्वते सर्वभक्षाय रौद्राय वपुषे नमः तमोघ्नाय हिमघ्नाय शत्रुघ्नाय मितात्मने कृतघ्नघ्नाय देवाय ज्योतिषां पतये नमः तप्तचामीकराभाय वह्नये विश्वकर्मणे नमस्तमोभिनिघ्नाय रुचये लोकसाक्षिणे नाशयत्येष वैभूतं तदेव सृजति प्रभुः पायत्येष तपत्येष वर्षत्येष गभस्तिभिः एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति भूतेषु परिनिष्ठितः एष एवाग्निहोत्रञ्च फलं चैवाग्निहोत्रिणां वेदाश्च क्रतवश्चैव क्रतूनां फलमेव च यानि कृत्यानि लोकेषु सर्वेषु रविः प्रभुः एनमापत्सु कृच्छ्रेषु कान्तारेषु भयेषु च कीर्तयन् पुरुषः कश्चिन्नावसीदति राघवं पूजयस्वैनमेकाग्रो देवदेवं जगत्पतिम् एतत्त्रिगुणितं जप्त्वा युद्धेषु विजयिष्यसि अस्मिन् क्षणे महाबाहो रावणं त्वं वधिष्यसि एवमुक्त्वा तदागस्त्यो जगाम च यथागतम् एतत् श्रुत्वा महातेजाः नष्टशोको भवत्तदा धारयामास सुप्रीतः राघवः प्रयतात्मवान् आदित्यं प्रेक्ष्य जप्त्वा तु परं हर्षमवाप्तवान् त्रिराचं यशुचिर्भूत्वा धनुरादाय वीर्यवान् रावणं प्रेक्ष्य हृष्टात्मा युद्धाय समुपागमत् सर्वयत्नेन महता वधितस्य धृतोऽभवत् अथ रविरवदन्निरीक्ष्य रामम् मुदितमनाः परमं प्रहृष्यमाणः निशिचरपतिसंक्षयं विदित्वा सुरगणमध्यगतो वचस्वरेति.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you. Who wants to lead and who wants to chant today?
Dr. Ji, Anil will lead and Vaishali Ji will follow today.
Very nice.
Namaste, Doctor.
Anil ji, namaste. Vaishali ji, namaste. And namaste, everyone. Why don't we chant the first 3 verses? And if you are comfortable, even the Dhyana Shloka also. Otherwise, if you want me to, I will lead and you can get used to it. And then you can chant in your own tune.
Dr.
Namaste.
Dhyana Shloka, you can chant. Yeah. I will do the first 3 verses.
Okay, then follow me. So I think next couple of days you will be comfortable with this one too. Om Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe. Namah Savitre
Jagadeka Chakshushe.
Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe.
Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe.
Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasa Hetave. Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasa Hetave. Yeah, once more. Jagat Prasuti
Jagat Prasuti
Sthiti Nasa Hetave. Jagat Prasuti Sthiti Nasa Hetave.
Jagat Prasuti Stitinasha Hetave.
Trayi Mayaya Trigunatma Dharine.
Trigunatma Dharine.
Trayi Mayaya Trigunatma Dharine. Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane. We'll do one line each time. Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshushe.
Namah Savitre Jagadeka Chakshuse.
Jagat Prasuti Sthitinasa Hetave.
Jagat Prasuti Stitinasha Hetave.
Trayi Mayaya Trigunatma Dharine.
Trayi Mayaya Trigunatma Dharini.
Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane.
Virinchi Narayana Shankaratmane.
We'll do the first 3 verses without following, just to chant the 3 verses we did yesterday.
Anilji, please go ahead.
Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya stitam Ravanam jagrato društva yuddhaya samupastitam Daivataischa samagamya drashtumabhyagatoranam Upagamya bravidramam agastyo bhagavan rishihi Rama Rama Mahabaho Shruguhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvan Narin Vatsa Samare Vijayishyasi.
Yena Sarvan Arin Vatsa. So Sarvan plus Arin becomes Sarvan Arin.
Yena Sarvan Narin Vatsa Samare Vijayishyasi.
Excellent. Thank you. Sarvan Arin. If I can, actually I can explain that in the next shloka also. Okay, do the 4th one, please.
Aadithya Hrudayam Punyam Sarvashatru Vinashanam Jayavaham Jape Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
Vaishali Ji, will you follow? We will do it
Sure.
pada by pada.
Aadithya Hrudayam Punyam
Aadithya Hrudayam Punyam
Sarvashatru Vinashanam
Sarvashatru Vinashanam
Jayavaham Jape Nityam
Jayavaham Jape Nityam
Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
Aadithya Hrudayam Punyam
Aditya Hrudayam Punyam
Sarvashatru Vinashanam
Sarvashatru Vinashanam
Jayavaham Jape Nityam
Jayavaham Jape Nityam
Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
Excellent. So all others, just keep yourself muted and try to follow. You yourself feel rejuvenated and energized. I promise you, by end of Saturday, you feel very comfortable, you feel very energized, and you feel rejuvenated. And more so when you know the meaning these next few days. So now, so far, we have talked about the context yesterday, the context, and where this Aadithya Hrudaya Stotram comes from, what Aadithya Hrudaya Stotram means, and who are the teacher, the taught, the rishi, the warrior, and the deity or the supreme Parabrahma, that is the heart of this stotram. The heart of the stotram. Who are we addressing? Who are we remembering? And what it means to us? One is that Parabrahma Tattva, which can be called only that. That's why it started with Tataha. And the teacher is none other than Bhagavan Rishihi Agastya Maharshi. Agastya. Rishi Darshanat, we said. And Agastya. Bhagavan, because Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. The Brahmajnana Sampanna is Brahma Eva. Brahmaiva Bhavati. So we talked about that. And we talked about the enemy, the Ravana, who is not only outside but within us. And we also talked about Rama, who is now the student here for Agastya Maharshi, and who is Atma Rama within us. And we talked about the deity from three angles, the three angles. That Parabrahma, whom we will be talking more and more as we go through. And then that Surya Bhagavan, who is in the solar orb, in Surya Mandala, so Mandala, Nakshatra Graha Mandala. And that Tejas, which is within us, in our Hridaya Kuhara Madhye, in our Hrudi. Ayam Hrudi. Ayam means this particular God we are talking about is Hrudi, in our Hrudayam. Hrudi, Ayam becomes Hrudayam. So that Aditya. Anilji, can you chant once more? Aditya Hrudayam Punyam.
Aditya Hrudayam Punyam Sarvashatru Vinashanam Jayavaham Jape Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam.
So this Aditya Hrudayam, listen to this sacred and eternal mantra, the stotra, the encomium called Aditya Hrudayam. It will help you gain victory by vanquishing all enemies. It will help you gain victory by vanquishing, destroying, annihilating all the enemies. It is unfailing and supremely auspicious. Unfailing and supremely auspicious. And we'll go through each word. Aditya Hrudayam. We spent quite a few time, yes, quite an amount of time yesterday understanding what Aditya means and what Hrudayam means. The essence of that Aditya. That Aditya is none other than the Surya Bhagavan who is in front of us. So if you really look at that Parabrahma has Nirvikara. There is no Akara. Na te rupam na chakaro. There is no form and there is no akara. Na ayudhani, na chaspadam. There is no particular abode that we can talk because he is everywhere. And na ayudhani, so not the way we actually look at the Vishnu Bhagavan Shankha Chakra Gadadhari. Not only confined to that. Not only confined to that. And why are we talking about this akara, this form, who is right in front of us? Because in 12th chapter we know that kleshodhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta higatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. It is so difficult to contemplate on formless, nameless. Swami Chinmayananda says, okay, contemplate on good eye. At least he gave the name. You don't know what good eye is. Now you have to describe, oh, good eye. Does it have 2 limbs or 4 limbs? Oh, 4 limbs. Oh, then is it a cow or a lion or a tiger or a dog? Does it have horns? So now we go into the form. The formless is now beginning to be expressed in some form. Because we have a form, because we have parents, because we have siblings, and because we have a name, we try to identify that Supreme Parabrahma Tattva with a form, a name, and an alankara, and a relation. Now that arupa has become Guru Rupa in the form of Guru. And that arupa has become Uru Rupa. Uru is great. Great has become first what? An eclipse. An elliptical shape. Sorry, not eclipse. I beg your pardon. Elliptical shape. That elliptical shape is neither a particular form nor no form. So Shivalinga, anena lingyate. Shivalinga. So this circular form, elliptical form, indicates the infinity, Ananta Tattva. Ananta Tattva. Then came all the forms that we like, Krishna, Rama, and Narasimha, so on. But here is the one with form, who is so radiant right in front of you, who is enlivening you, who is energizing you. So that is none other than Aditya. So that upasakanam karyartham brahmano rupakalpana. So for upasakas, for the sake of upasakas, for the sake of meditators, Brahman has taken a form. And that form is readily available every single day, every day, right in front of us and to everyone. That Aditya. And we are talking about not only that sun we are physically looking at, but Yada Aditya Gatam Tejo Jagadbhasayate Kilam. That energy, primordial energy, which is within sun god, and that primordial energy, which is in Chandrama, that primordial energy, which is in fire, oh Arjuna, know that as mine, that Parabrahma is speaking. So that essence of Aditya, Aadithya Hrudayam, Punyam, Punati iti, no secondary agenda other than just purifying everybody. Punati iti punyam, Aadithya Hrudayam punyam, sarva shatru vinasanam. Right in front, there is only one Shatru, Ravana. But Ravana is the embodiment of all Shatrus. Ravana with 10 heads, we talked about yesterday as Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, Ahankara, Mamakara, Raga, Dvesha. Yeah, so these 10 things. These 10 things, Kama, that selfish desire. Then Krodha, anger. Lobha, greed. Moha, delusion, thinking that unreal is real. Mada, pride. Matsarya, jealousy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Ahankara, that ego, the false ego. Mamakara, that excessive attachment to the things, especially to this body, mind, and intellect complex of ours. And raga, like, dvesha, dislike. So these are the 10 heads of Ravana. And in Bhagavatam, this great verse is there. Who is the enemy? Who is the enemy? In Bhagavad Gita also. Can you please all mute? I'll be reminding you again if you keep unmuting. So please keep muted. This Jahishatrum Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasatam. We saw that in Bhagavad Gita. Jahishatrum Mahabaho. This Shatri. Durasadam, very difficult to conquer. Then we are talking about Sarva Shatru. All these are Shatrus. And not only these, Bhayam is a Shatru. Doubt is a Shatru. Fear is a Shatru. That lack of self-confidence within us is a Shatru. Because anything which stops our progress is a Shatru. Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. So in Bhagavatam, Prahlada says to his father Hiranyakashipu, Jahi asuram bhavam imam tvam atmanas samam manodhatsva. You control your mind first. Nasanti vidvishaha rite. There are no nasanti vidvishaha. Vidvishaha means the enemies. There are no enemies. Rite ajitatmanaha, other than the unconquered mind of yours. Vivekananda says, conquer your mind and you have conquered the world. The same thing in Telugu, Potana, for the sake of Telugu people, Vairulevvaru chittambu vairigaka, chittamunu neeku vasamuga cheyuvayya. Chittamunu neeku vasamuga cheyavayya, madayutasura bhavambu manavayya. Ayya, neemrola meladarayya janulu. Lokamulanniyu gadiyalona jayinchinaadavu. You conquered all these worlds, O Hiranyakashipu Tanri, O my father. Indriya nekamu chittamun geluvaneeravu. You couldn't conquer your own senses and mind. Ninnu nibaddu cheyu ee bhikara shatrularvura prabhinnula cheya. These 6 enemies, Arishat Varga, it's called Arishat Varga. Sarvanarin, O Vatsa, Sarvanarin Samare Vijayishyasi. So this is a samara we have with these. And this is a struggle we have every single day. Every watch these vices. Watch these thoughts. So, Ninno Nibadhu, they actually bind us. Ninno Nibadhu seyu ee bhikara shatrularvura prabhinnula chesina. Rakhinnula chesina. Pranakochilo neeku virodhi ledokadu nirpuna judumu danaveswara. I'll translate this into English. You conquered the whole world, but not your own inner enemy, the 6-fold: lust, selfishness, anger, greed, delusion, pride, and jealousy. Behold, oh my dear father, behold, they failed you and they fooled you. Alas, you cannot win over your own senses and mind, O king, when you conquer and contain these foes or fiends. Friends. So friend and fiend, if you take away the R, it becomes foe. When you conquer and contain these enemies and foes, the whole world and all beings become your dear friends. That's what Prahlada says. Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. That is Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. Jayavaham. Jaya Avaham. Endowed with victory, endowed with Jaya. Japen Nityam. Japet. You should remember this every day. Some texts say Japan Nityam, by chanting and by remembering and by reading this Nityam always. And what kind? Another adjective and quality is given to this Aadithya Hrudayam is Paramam, the ultimate, Sivam, the very auspicious. So this ultimate, auspicious, the one which is purifying, the one which can vanquish all the enemies, called Aadithya Hrudayam, which is endowed with victory, Jayavaham, Japet, nityam, nityam japet. So Jaya means, we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go through. Jaya is a victory. Victory over what? Victory over these enemies. And what is a real victory in life? The real victory in life is going through, for Grihasthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So dharmena artham sadhayet, kamam purayet, then moksham sadhayet. So that is how it is. So accordingly, according to the righteousness, you earn money, you fulfill your desires, and you reach that state of contentment. So that is this sloka. Next one, please.
Anilji, please, sir.
Sarvamangala Mangala.
Sarvamangala Mangalyam
Sarvamangala Mangalyam
Sarvapapa Pranashanam
Sarvapapa Pranashanam
Chinta Shoka Prashamanam
Chinta Shoka Prashamanam
Ayurvardhanam Uttamam
Ayurvardhanam Uttamam
Sarvamangala Mangalyam
Sarvamangala Mangalyam
Sarvapapa Pranashanam
Sarvapapa Pranashanam
Chinta Shoka Prashamanam
Chinta Shoka Prashamanam
Ayurvardhanam Uttamam.
Ayurvardhanam Uttamam.
Mangalam itself means Bhadram, Shivam, Kalyanam, Shubham, very auspicious. Then Mangalanam cha Mangalam, as we see in Vishnu Sahasranama, it is the auspicious, most of all auspicious things. So Sarva Mangala Mangalyam. So it is the most auspicious thing. The stotra is most auspicious one among all the auspicious things. It completely destroys all the evil propensities in the seeker. Sarva Papa Pranashanam. Papa, we talked about so much about Papa in Bhagavad Gita. Papa is not only sin, but Papa means defects. Papa means deficiencies. Papa means errors. Errors of commission and errors of omission. Errors of commission and errors of omission. Knowingly and unknowingly. We do so many things. You can count on this. So, apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakrittamah sarvam jnanaplavenaiva urjinam santarishyasi Bhagavad Gita. Even if you think that you are the sinner utmost sinner of all, if you think you are so downtrodden, so miserable, but all this, by knowing this, by chanting this, by understanding this with bhavana, you will cross over these papas. So Papa here, like in Christianity, doesn't tell you that you are a sinner. It just tells that we all are endowed with our own deficiencies. We come as a package into this world. It is a manufacturing defect that we come with. But Amritasya Putraha. So Vedas, their ghosha is, we are that immortal, children of that immortality. Amritasya Putraha. So apiche suduracharu, bhajate mam ananya sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. So if you remember this, so now we'll go through, as we go through, you know that so true this is. Chinta soka prasamanam. So it will subdue all the chinta. Yesterday we talked about samare chintaya sthitam. Chita chinta. Dvayor madhye chinta nama gariyasi. There's only that, so one dot between them, one chita and chinta, dvayor madhye chinta eva gariyasi. Because chinta dahati nirjivam. When we are gone, chita is fire, the fire. Chita dahati nirjivam. When we are gone, it burns us. But while we are alive, chinta pranayuttam vapuhu dahati. So it burns us when we are alive. Chita chinta dvayor madhye chinta namagareyasi chita dahati nirjivam chinta pranayutam vapuhu. So then sokam, dukkham, vicharam, visadam. So these are all at various levels. Mano dukkham, saririka sokam when you're crying, when the tears are just falling on the cheeks. So sokam, dukkham, mano dukkham. Then visadam, vicharam. We saw all this in Arjuna in first chapter. Ashrupurna kolekshanam tam tadha krupaya vistam Ashrupurna kolekshanam vishidantamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. So don't think of that cow yesterday, schoolboy's cow. Okay, sorry, I have to go. No, it just comes to the mind and then I have to stop. Or not now. But I have to say that, you see. So physically tired, mentally exhausted, intellectually incapacitated. That's when this helps. Then chinta soka prasamanam. Opposite of it is what? Shariraka sukham, manasika santosham. And then buddhi, vikasam and anandam. So sukha, santosha, ananda. That various levels of happiness. And ayurvardhanam. It gives you longevity, not only the longevity, but not the quantity in years, but quality as well. Ayuhu vardhanam, ayurvardhanam. That's why Ayurveda. Ayu means not only just longevity, it is longevity with quality. Vardhanam, it increases. Uttamam, the best. Uttamam. Ut means high. Uttara, uttama. So good, better, best. So uttamam, the best. Who doesn't want good wealth? Who doesn't want good health? Who doesn't want good knowledge? And Bhaskarat, from Surya, you get all these three. We'll see how that is. Next, please.
Anilji,
Next
can
one.
you start?
You can chant this and then go to the next one if you want. Sarva Mangala Mangalyam.
Sarva Mangala Mangalyam Sarva Papa Pranashanam Chinta Shoka Prashamanam Ayurvardhanam Uttamam Rashmi Mantam Samudyantam Devasura Namaskrutam Pujayasva Vivasvantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram Rashmi Mantam Samudyantam Devasura Namaskrutam Pujayasva Vivasvantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram.
So you will see three cases. The first case, like let's say Rashmiman. Rashmiman is first case. Rashmimantam, second case. So Anilaha, first case. Anilam, second case. Then fourth case is Anilaya Namaha. So most of the time you see these three modifications, three vibhaktis of the names here. Rashmiman. So Pujayasva, worship, remember, think of him with reverence. So you worship this sun god. He rises swiftly with his rays, and even gods and demons propitiate him. He dispels the darkness. He is the ultimate source of all wealth. He is the over Lord of all the worlds. He is a Lord of all worlds. And we'll see the meaning of each one. Rashmi Mantam, Rashmiman. So Rashmi, you may see some names as Rashmi, especially in Bengal, they are very famous. Bengal and Orissa, they are actually, mostly Orissa even, and Konark temple is there. So they they love sun god. They love sun god. If you see Bhuvaneshwar, and if you see Puri, Jagannatha, you see Konarka, the temple, Konarka, sun god's temple. And then in Andhra Pradesh, there is another temple, Arasuvelli. There's again another Surya temple where the rituals are done so regularly. And then in Mayan culture and also in Peru, you see sun god being worshipped. In Rome, sun god was worshipped as Maitraism or Mithraism. So we'll talk about that when time comes, about Mitra and other names. So here Rashmiman, the one who has Rashmi. Rashmi means Kiranas, the rays. So his rays, the rays that we talk about. And we'll see a little bit more about the rays in forthcoming verses. So the one who has Rashmi, the rays, is called Rashmiman. Like Dhana, Dhanavan, Bhaga, Bhagavan, Rashmi, Rashmiman. So it's not Rashmivan because of the Sanskrit rules, it becomes Rashmiman, like Shriman. Okay, so Dhanavan, but Shriman. So Rashmiman, Rashmimantam Pujayasva, O Rama, Agastya Maharshi is saying, Samudyantam, Udyantam, the one who is rising. Samudyantam, the one who is rising with full energy to arouse you. Yeah. So Samudyantam, there is actually, all these are Vedic words, because it is so difficult for us to remember, read, know, chant correctly all these Veda mantras. So these words are chosen by Valmiki Maharshi and Agastya Maharshi and given to us out of pure compassion. Because that Vedic mantra goes like this: Udutyam jata vedasam devam vahanti ketavaha. So Udutyam, Samudyantam, the one who is rising. And then there is one person by name Samba, who is a son of Krishna. So very naughty guy. Krishna didn't have a good life, so he had kids who were arrested, who were imprisoned, who were cursed, and one kid was abducted, by Pradyumna, and then one grandson was abducted by another girl, so on and so forth. So this guy was very rotten guy, and then with curse he gets actually skin disease. And then he says, go and worship sun god. I can't help you. So Samba, he writes this poetry. In fact, it is so sad that these shlokas fell in front of him in his lap. Udyan nadya vivaswan, arohan nuttaram divim devaha. Udyan nadya vivaswan, arohan nuttaram dividevaha. That's Samudyantam, the one who is rising. So, and because we have to know what is in it for me by remembering what. If you actually worship, look at this rising sun. Hrudrogam mamasuryo harimanam cha nashayatu. Hrudrogam, the heart gets strengthened. And there's so many doshas. Netra dosha, tvachi dosha, drushi dosha, hridi dosha, and all indriyaja, akhilendriyaja dosha, all doshas, all defects, all problems, medical, physical, mental problems of the skin, of the eyes, of the heart, and all the senses. Tan posha hatadosha kinchit dosha agnina dahatu. So he will burn with a little bit of heat and fire and that medicinal rays, all the ultraviolet rays and so on and so forth. So we'll talk about that. In psoriasis, we know that there is UV therapy. Yeah, psoriasis. So that way, tvachi means tvak means skin. You see, we talked about tokka, so tokka, the mamidikaya tokka, we say, tvak. So that's the skin. So tvachi dosha, drushi dosha, hridi dosha, akhilendriyaja dosha. All these are gone. So that's Samudyantam. Deva Asura Namaskrutam, the one who is saluted by Devas and Asuras also equally. Devas, Dyotanat iti Deva. So the one who has got a special quality, a special power. Let's say if Amitabh Bachchan actually sings Aadithya Hrudayam, we all, so yes, oh my goodness, Amitabh Bachchan is chanting, why shouldn't we? So Deva. Asura, even Asuras, the villains also, as we talked about yesterday. So Asura means Not only, so those with horns and, so big mustache and all that. Asushurati, very selfish guys. They are interested in their own life. Asushurati, Asuraha. So, Pujayasva. And who else? Vivaswan, Vivaswantam. Vivaswan in second case becomes Vivaswantam. What is Vivaswan? Vivaswan is the one who overwhelms this world with what? With light. The one who overwhelms this world with light. See, imagine a person, we are in difficulties and we are stressed out and we are tense. There is someone who walks into the room. Just he overwhelms with energy, ease, and simplicity, and just solves the problem. So like that, Vivaswan, Achadayati, entire this world, overwhelms this world. With what? With Kanti, So that is Vivaswan. Then we saw this Vivaswan word in Bhagavad Gita also. Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manurikshwakave Bravit. So Vivaswan, in second case, Vivaswantam. Bhaskaram. Bha means light. Bhasam karoti iti Bhaskara. Bha means light. Bha means jnanam. Bha means knowledge. Bhasam karoti iti Bhaskara. We all get name Bharata, and the country gets the name Bharata because of this. Not only because it was ruled by Bharata of Ramayana, but Bharata of Mahabharata. Shantana's father Bharata. There, Shantanu. So Shantanu was adopted by Bharata. So Bharata there. Then there is Jada Bharata in Bhagavatam as well. But we get, because with this name is Bha means Prakasha. So Bharanatvat. This Prakasha Tattva. So this knowledge. We revel in knowledge. Bhasi Rata. We revel in the knowledge. The country revels in the knowledge. So Bharata, Bhasam Karoti. Bhaskara. Bhaskarat Arogyam Ichet Bhaskarat. If you actually chant this name, Om Bhaskaraya Namaha. So it is health-giving mantra. Bhuvaneswaram, Bhuvana Iswara. So in fact, the place Bhuvaneshwar in Odisha gets because there are sun worshippers there. Bhuvana means this Vishwa, this world. Iswara means Lord of this world. Our world, our earth here. So Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram. So if you could say this mantra once, and then we go to the next one.
Rashmi Mantam Samudyantam Devasura Namaskrutam Pujayasva Vivaswantam Bhaskaram Bhuvaneshwaram Sarvadevatmako Heshaha
Sarvadevatmako Heshaha
Tejasvi Rashmi Bhavanaha
Tejasvi Rashmi Bhavanaha
Yesha Devan Suraganan
Yesha Deva Suraganan
Lokan Pati Gabastibihi
Lokan Pati Gabastibihi
Sarvadevatmako Heshaha
Sarvadevatmako Heshaha
Tejasvi Rashmi Bhavanaha
Tejasvi Rashmi Bhavanaha
Yesha Devan Suragana
Yesha Deva Suraganan
Lokan Pati Gabastibihi
Lokan Pati Gabhastibihi.
Sarva Devatmakaha. So there's so many devas. Yotanatiti Deva. So we have so many. We have 33 crores of devas. But in fact, it is 33 different great thousands of qualities in these devas. Those 33 are Ekadasha Rudras, Dwadasha Adityas, and Ashtavasus, and Ashwini Devatas. But not going into those details, all the devatas, or your own Kula Devata, your own dear Devata, Ishta Devata, or the Dashavatara Vibhavas, or Archavataras like Balaji, or Gurus who are worshipped as Devas, and your role models, let us say, your role models. If you are a tennis star, so Nadal is your role model. If you are basketball, so Steph Curry is your role model. If you are cricketer, Dhoni or Sachin Tendulkar. So Sarva Devatmakaha Eshaha. So he is endowed with, he is the endowment of all Devas, all Devas. Tejasvi. Tejasvi, the one who has got Tejas is called Tejasvi. And Tejas is, if you put fire, the heat, and if you have any of the Jyotirgana, the lightning things, the light. But sun god has got both light and heat at an optimal temperature for us to survive. So that is Tejas. Tejas is light and heat put together. Light and heat put together, which is optimal for life to erupt, survive. So that is Tejas. Tejas and Ojas. Tejas is the innate power. Ojas is the one which is acquired with your tapas. So that is Tejas. Rashmi Bhavanaha. So he not only has these rays, Rashmi, he gives them, he actually spreads on us with Bhavana. So this Bhavana, one simple example is, if you go to a restaurant, the food is served. Food is served sometimes with no feelings at all, sometimes with some expectation of tips. But if you go to your mother, and when mother serves, no expectations other than you eating well and being happy. So that is Bhavana. So that Matru Bhavana is Rashmi Bhavana. Eshaha Deva Asuraganan Lokan Pati. So he protects Deva and Asura. So whoever worships him, he doesn't discriminate, because it's like a flower. Whoever goes, whoever, Name Dveshyoste na Priyaha. But whoever goes and then salutes and reveres and respects, so he actually protects them. So let them be Devas, let them be Asuras. Lokan. Lokan, we have only one Loka, but we say that there are three Lokas: Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti Lokas, our wakeful world, our dream world, our sleeping, so deep sleep, world of deep sleep. Or there's so many lokas. We will say, no, he is in his own world. What lokanlo, what not. He's in, everyone has his own or her own world. Okay. So not only that, if you look at it, there are Sapta Urdhva Lokas, Sapta Adho Lokas. So they are Urdhva Lokas, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. Then Adho Lokas, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. But all these are within us only. So now all lokas are protected by him. By what? By his Gabhasti. Gabhasti is race. Gabhasti means Lakshmi Mantam. Very prosperous. So Gabha means prosperity. So that prosperity is there in it. That's why it's called Gabhasti. Gabhasti Bihi. By his race, he protects all the worlds, all the gods, and all the people. And with Matru Bhavana, Rashmi Bhavana. And he is the endowment of all gods. We'll go to the next one.
Sarvadevatmako Heshaha Tejasmi Rashmi Bhavanaha Yesha Devan Suraganan Lokan Pati Gabhasti Bihi Yesha Brahma Cha Vishnuscha
Yesha Brahma cha Vishnuscha
Shivaskanda Prajapatihi
Shivaskanda Prajapatihi
Mahendro Danadah Kalo
Mahendro Danadah Kalo
Yamah Somo Hyah Pampatihi
Yamah Somo Hyapampatihi
Yesha Brahma Cha Vishnuscha
Yesha Brahma cha Vishnuscha
Shivaskanda Prajapatihi
Shivaskandah Prajapatihi
Mahendro Danada Kalo
Mahendro Danadah Kalo
Yamah Somo Hyapampatihi.
Yamassomo Hyapampatihi.
Eshaha. Eshaha means this guy here, when we say this guy. So if you have to say someone there, Saha. So someone who is very nearby, Eshaha. Eshaha. So Eshaha, Brahma, Cha means and, Chakara Kukshi. We have so many. Bhavan, Bhishmascha, Karnascha, Krupascha, Samitinjayaha, Ashwathama, Vikarnascha. So like that, Cha. So here, Brahma, Cha means and. Vishnuhu, Cha, and Shivaha, Skandaha, Prajapatihi, Mahendraha, Dhanadaha, Kalaha, Yamaha, Somaha, Apampatihi. So now we don't have time to remember all these gods, salute all these gods, know all these gods. Do not worry. Just salute Sun God. It is equivalent to saluting all these gods. Brahma. Brahma here, not Brahman. Brahmaji, Chaturmukha Brahma, the creator. Vishnu. Vishnu is Visati iti Vishnu. Visati. So Brahma comes from the word Bruhat. Bruhatvat. Because to create all this, you need to be so big. So big. Vishnu Visati, the one who enters into this. Vishwam Vishnurva Shatkaru. So Tat Sruštva, having created, Tadeva Anupravisatta. So having created this world, he entered into this world. Vishnu. Shiva. So Mangalakaraha Pralayam Karoti. So Shivaha. Skandaha. Skanda is Skannat. That power came down here as Mahasenadhipati. The army of power. So the army of power is so Skanda, Kumaraswami, Muruga. So Muruga. Then Muruga again means, so Mu means Mukunda, Ru means Rudra, and then Ga or Ka means Brahma. So that Brahma, Vishnu, Shivatmaka Shakti. So Virinchi Narayana Sankaratmane we say. So that is there. Prajapatihi, progenitor. Then Mahendraha. Indra, it means Aishwarya. The one who has all this Aishwarya is Indra. Mahaindra. Dhanadaha, the one who gives Dhana. Dhanam. So in fact, by praying to Sun God, I told you, you get three things. Dhanam. Satrajit, so in our Purana, Satrajit got the money. So the money. So that money gives so much of gold every day. So anyway, so there is a big story, so in Bhagavatam about that. So Satrajit, Satyabhama's father. Then Dhanam, Arogyam, Jnanam. All three things. Arogyam, Bhaskaradichet. Dhanam, Suryadichet. Jnanam, so Adityadichet. So all these three come from this Sun God. Dhanadaha. What is Dhanam? Not only the gold, not only the currency. Arogyame Mahabhagyam. Health is wealth. Dhanam Vasuhu. Dhanam Agni. Dhanam Varsham. Dhanam Jnanam. So all these are Dhanam. Santanam, Dhanam. Our kith and kin are Dhanam. Friends are Dhanam. So this is Dhanam, Dhanadaha. Kalaha. Kalaha, the time. So if you look at, first he came. He is the primordial. He is primordial. Then the time came. Tomorrow maybe I'll read a poem on time if time permits. So Kalaha, time. So the unit of time is what? Second. He came first. That's why the unit of time is not called first, it is second. So Kalaha. Then Yamaha. Yama means the one Yamayati controls. Not only Yamadharmaraj, but the one who controls. So that with Ahimsa, Satyam, Asteyam, Aparigraham. So all these are Yama, which Patanjali Maharshi talks about. So Yama. Apampatihi, the Lord of waters, Varuna Devata. So this, and then we will do maybe one more or two more, because my 10 minutes has been taken by Sri Prada. So we will do two more. Okay. Thanks. Okay. We'll chant this and go to the next one.
Yesha Brahma cha Vishnushcha Shivaskanda Prajapatihi Mahendro Danada Kalo Yamassomo Yah Pampatihi.
Anilji, before you go to the next one, before Soma, I forgot about Soma. I'm sorry, you may be thinking it is so overwhelming, he's saying so many things, but you don't know how many I am skipping actually. Okay. So Soma is Chandra, because today is the full moon day. So Soma, Saumyatvat Soma. Saumyatvat Soma. Then Ma means light. Ma means light. Ma means mother. Ma means light. Ma means no, but Ma. So Soma means Rudra also. Sa plus Uma becomes Soma. Uma is Parvati Devi, the one who is along with Parvati Devi, the one who never leaves her, because half of his body is, that's why it's called better half. The better half is always with him. Soma. But Soma means Chandra also. That is because Saha, that, certainly, Ma Kantiman. Kantiman, Ma means light. So he certainly is a light, which is a reflection, the reflected light of sun god, Soma. So today is full moon. So how can we forget him? Okay, next. We'll go to the next one.
Pitaro Vasavasadhya
Pitaro Vasavasadhya
Yashvino Maruto Manuhu
Heshvinau Maruto Manuhu
Vayurvanni Praja Pranaha
Vayurvanhi Praja Prana
Rutukarta Prabhakaraha
Rutukarta Prabhakaraha
Pitaro Vasavasadhya
Pitaro Vasavasadhya
Yashvino Maruto Manuhu
Heshvinau Maruto Manuhu
Vayurvanni Praja Pranaha
Vayurvanhi Praja Prana
Rutukarta Prabhakaraha
Rutukarta Prabhakaraha.
Pitaraha, all our ancestors. There are so many Pitru Devatas. Devatabhyo Pitrubhyascha Namo Yogibhya Evacha Namaswadhayai Swahayai Nityameva Namo Namaha. We have to remember, not just on Thanksgiving Day, we have to remember the ancestors every day, because of whom we are here today. So Pitaraha, Pitru Devatas. Pitru Devatas means not only our Pitru Devatas, our father, or mothers, so father and father, or mother and mother. There are Pitru Devatas, all these ancestors who actually has done so much for this world. Vasavaha, Ashtavasus are there. So in that Vasunam Pavakas Chasmi, that Pavaka came as Bhishma. Then Sadhya, these are Siddhas and Sadhyas. They are celestial gods, angels. Sadhya, Sadhyante, Sadhya, Hanena. Everything is possible because of this. When they bestow their blessings on us. Then Marutaha, the wind god. Maruta, Marichinam Marutas Chasmi. Marichinam Maruta, the wind god. The wind god, there are 7 winds, seven layers of this. See, ozone, we say, no? Ozone. So the oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide in certain proportion, then the ozone, and then other vayus, then hydrogen, and so on. So there are 7 layers. This 7 is subdivided into another 7, 49. So there are 49 Marutas, 49 layers of vayus. Then Manu is our ancestor. Because of Manu, we got the name Manava, and human, man, woman. So because of Manu. And these Manus are 14 Manus are there. Swayambhu, Swarochisha, Uttama, Tapasa, Raivata, Chakshusha, Vaivasvata. Then Savarni, Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni. I'm telling all this because it is not possible to remember. If you salute sun god, you are saluting all these people. See, so simplified. So sun god is a representation of all these. Vayuhu, not only Marut, but Vayuhu, the Pranavayu. And Varni, the fire. The fire as the Vaishvanara in us. the body temperature in us, the fire outside, the Gruha Agni. So there are three Agnis, so we say Garha, Patni Agni, Dakshina Agni, or Dakshina Agni. Then Agni in Samudra, Badabagni. Then Agni as Jnana, Jnana Agni. So all these Agnis, Kala Agni in Rudra. So this Agni. Then Prajaha, all these Prajani. Then Pranaha, the Pancha Pranas. Then Rutukarta, the maker of the seasons, Rutukarta. So he's a Karta of Rutus. Rutu, there are 6 Rutus. So starting from Vasanta Rutu, then Grishma, then Varsha, then Sharat, then Hemanta, then Shishira. Who remembers these 6? There are only 4 seasons, we say, 4 seasons. Summer, winter, fall, and spring. But in Texas, if you say there are only 2, or actually only 1, less hot or more hot. So only 1 season. So the maker of the seasons, Sun, Prabhakaraha. Prabha means that Jnanam, light. Bha, Prakrushta Bha. So that special Bha is Jnanam. So the one who actually gives us Jnanam, that Prabhakara. And then we'll do one more and then we'll stop.
Pitaro vasavas sadhya hyashvino maruto manuhu vayurvanni praja prana rutukarta prabhakaraha aditya savita surya
Aditya Savita Surya
kagah pusha gabastiman
Khagapusha Gabastiman
suvarna sadrusho banuhu
Suvarna Sadrusho Bhanuhu
hiranyareta divakaraha
Hiranyareta Divakaraha
aditya savita surya
Aditya Savita Surya
kagah pusha gabastiman
Khagapusha Gabhastiman
suvarna sadrusho banuhu
Suvarna Sadrusho Bhanuhu
hiranyareta divakaraha.
Hiranyareta Divakaraha.
So Aditya, Savita, Surya, Khagaha, Pusha, Gabhastiman, Suvarna Sadrushaha, Bhanuhu, Swarna Reta, Divakaraha. We'll do these names tomorrow. And it's 8:40, almost 8:39. So we'll stop here and then we'll take up any questions or comments. If we can stop the recording. Shilpaji, thank you. So what we will do, we will chant these verses and then you could do Purnamada Purnamidam, or I could do after that.